Welcome to another exciting edition of Midnight Chillers. On location once again at the Samurai Community Cemetery because we love it here. It's so peaceful and quiet and beautifully kept thanks to the awesome people who work here. And it's a fine place to have your rest. I'm not just saying that for the money. Because there is no money.
No sponsorship.
No sponsorship, no money in this. This is done as a labor of love. And speaking of love, tonight's movie is a love story of a certain type. It is called The Brain That Wouldn't Die. It is about a man who loves a woman, and then he gets into a car accident, and all his letters are ahead. So he goes out hunting for a new body.
Huh.
It's probably gory for the time. It was really graphic violence in the 50s when this came out. And it's like, wow, this is really hardcore.
Just to be clear, the cemetery is not a good place to look for a body.
Nope. They're kind of all rotten by now. Alright, so like, let's see, what's it gonna say? Okay, this was also ripped off later for a movie called Frankenhooker, which was a very similar plot made in the early 90s. And basically it's a love story, but it's a tragic love story. And it's one of my favorite movies. I played it here a few times before. And the first time I ever saw it was on Mystery Science Theater 3000 back in the day. Because I was a big fan. I started watching it on Sci-Fi Channel back in 97. So then when I was in 1998, my American history teacher, who was a cool guy named Mr. Herbert, he started giving me VHS tapes of the conversation ones from the early 90s. And other movies like Evil Dead, and then he introduced me to John Waters. So it was like, because I was bisexual and I was exploring, and he was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything to you, I'm not going to be like that kind of creepy, but I'm going to show you stuff in that realm. So don't get the idea that he did anything to me, or he was a dirty guy. He was not a dirty guy, he was a sweet guy. He was a lovely husband, wife, dog, child, and he was a great guy. He was one of my favorite teachers of all time. He just said, well, you're gay, or you're bisexual, and you're exploring your transgender. So here's a guy who also does that, and he makes a living doing that. So that was my introduction to John Waters. And I still love John Waters. I'm happily married, so don't you guys go there and go, I'm gonna hook you up. No, I'm happily married. So anyway, so no, enough of that. Because I went through the whole transgender thing for a while, and I said, no, this isn't for me. I think it's a great thing. It's for certain people, but it was just not my thing. Anyway, this is enough of my rants. I'm ranting again. How are we doing on time, Steven?
I think we're doing fine.
All right, cool. So enough of my rants. Let's see, what was it going to say? Oh yeah. So this movie is one of my favorites. I got into Mystery 2000 because this was my first time watching a movie. It was on Mystery 2000, and I laughed my ass off. It's such a funny, script movie. And I found the color version, which is great. So you can enjoy it in full bloody, gory color. So you can sit back, relax. I'll get to the movie. I'll be back in the middle to talk more about exploitation cinema and all that stuff. And then we'll be back at the end, back to see the rest of the movie. In the meantime, Wiedersehen.
Let me die. Let me die.
I'm so proud of you, I could kiss you.
Promises, huh? Always promises.
Careful, your father's liable to report us.
And stop the floor show? When you two are married, it won't be fun to watch anymore.
Well, I can promise you one thing. Your grandchildren won't be test tube babies.
You better hurry if you want to catch that plane to Denver, Dad. You know that medical convention can't start without you.
Jan, you'd better check about my reservations.
Oh, yes, I'll call the airport. I'll be right back.
Bill, the line between scientific genius and obsessive fanaticism is a thin one. Now, I want you on the right side of it.
If I don't experiment, how can I hope to perform operations like the one you almost messed up?
Oh, we're in the middle of the movie, guys. This is how you're having fun enjoying the brain that wouldn't die and all the craziness. Anyway, so talking about exploitation cinema, the 50s is when it really hit big because they were in competition with television. So there were all these movies like I showed before, like Screaming Skull, and there was Homicidal, and Mr. Satanigus, and all these movies where there was a gimmick, there was Fright Pills, there was Drive-In Massacre, where they have like people in the audience who were like maniacs who were like trying to kill people. So you had all these interactive things. So they was trying to get butts in the seats. This is one of those movies that was really ahead of its time in terms of special effects and gore and violence. And I don't think it gets enough love. So I'm glad to have it here for you guys to enjoy. So the cinema is a ever-growing monster. It started out with Thomas Edison in the 1890s. They went to Lumiere Brothers, George Méliès, then they went on to every country in the world, started their own film companies, making their own movies, and then America, trying to avoid copyright, started making movies in California, so it take too long to get out here to stop it. Because the movie industry really started in New Jersey.
Huh.
And they had this thing called the Black Maria, which is this big house because of the way the lighting was. They had to have everything completely dark in order to get the film right. So they had this huge house that was painted black, called the Black Maria. And then that's where they made their movies. So then a bunch of people in California started making movies because it was easier to get things done here, and then to avoid, because it took 10 days by train to get from New Jersey to California. So in that time they were already ready to vamoose. So there's nothing anybody could do about it. That's why Hollywood is the entertainment capital of the world, because they are avoiding copyright laws. So anyway, so
I never thought of it that way.
that's how it would. Anyway, so this movie is, I had everything memorized before, my mind went blank. Anyway, so this movie was one of my favorites because of the idea that you could transplant organs, which was unheard of at the time. Now it's like common day thing. Now they have like people doing it all the time. Everybody donating organs when they die, like eyes, lungs, all that stuff.
Put a little dot on your driver's license.
Yep. So yeah, but at the time in the 50s, this was unheard of. So like they were able to do it, and in the movie they did it with this stuff. I forget what it's called, some chemical. They called it the neck juice or whatever. They kept the head alive, and then the head became like psychotic or crazy. I don't think we're that far in yet. So I'll get back to the movie. You get to see the end, the exciting special effects extravaganza conclusion to the brain that wouldn't die. Oh, Midnight Chillers. Good design.
What is it?
Good ever be born of evil? Yet he claims his work is for science, for humanity. joined to flesh not your own. What's human in this? Of how you must exist, locked behind that door. We've got to stop him.
Well, that's it, kids. A tragic ending for a tragic person, tragic soul. The moral of the story, I guess, is don't try to get things that don't belong to you, and don't try to play with magic and God. Don't try to bring people back from the dead who are already dead. Kind of like the movie Slice, or like the Chiller, the one we saw earlier, the Lazarus Effect. It's trying to say that, like, when you die, mentally you go through something else, and then when you come back, you're not the same. Even Pet Sematary had that kind of logic to it. It's like when you die, something happens to you, and I think that's what happened with this movie. It's like she died, and then came back, and she's like a different person. So yeah, it's pretty scary. Death is scary, and I'm surrounded by it.
Surrounded by death?
Surrounded by death. It's just you and me, Steven. You and me against the world. The world cannot win against us.
Pay no attention to the cars whizzing down the street behind you.
That at the end of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, I thought it was so creepy. And they changed it when they did it for DVD, the letterboxed it, so you missed it. But in the movie, there's like a big zoom out scene of like the chick with the chainsaw, and you can see all these trucks, going by.
There's the catering truck. There's
Oh yeah, you have no idea how chaotic it is on a movie set. Trucks everywhere, people running around. Everybody's everybody's confused. Where do we go now? What is this? Oh, I need you over here to do this. Go over here, do that. Go lock down that set. Go lock down that set. Check these lights. Go do this. Go do that.
Click on that walkie-talkie and talk to that supervisor.
Yep. It's chaotic. So yep. So we'll be back next week, and if you want to find out more, email edgarvongol@gmail.com. I'm always there, open for any type of conversations about horror films. And let's see, thanks for watching. Thank you to Sluggo and Cream and Cerberus.
Operators are standing by.
Auf Wiedersehen, guys. Thank you. I loved you guys. You're my heart. Bye.
Lies and deceits, a throne of hypocrisy, power-hungry feet, feeding on misery, false promises built on pain, the reign of terror driving us insane, corruption reigns under your command, broken dreams shattered by your hand, free and avarice, your tyrant's creed, leaving us to suffer to bleed, corruption.